Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another Hat Show, obviously episode 231. And in this one, we will be discussing the weekend's game against Sheffield United. And then obviously, we'll be getting into the massive game tomorrow night. Two massive games coming up, guys. You know, as we all know, obviously, we've got a 6-pointer, you could say, tomorrow. And then obviously, we've got the derby. So, the games don't get any better today, but we have to show what we're about, and what we haven't been about after the season. Obviously, me, Dad, how are you, Dad?
Yeah, not too bad. Hope everyone's cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Big up to Paul, as always, in the chat, saying good evening, lads. Big up to yourself, mate. Hope you're well. But yeah, let's get into it. So, Sheffield United, right? Going into it, I'll be honest, I wasn't confident at all, as we all know. I said a 3-1 defeat, the exact same as what it was in the Premier League last season. I mean, you said a draw, Dad. I mean, you weren't actually far off, to be fair, with how the game went. But the lineup, so it was a change in formation. Now, when it first dropped at 2 o'clock, you're thinking it's either a three at the back, which obviously it proves to be, or a 4-4-2. Now, the reason I didn't think it was a 4-4-2 is because if it was, who would have been on that right of the midfield? It would have been hard to really work out. But it was Kaminsky in goal. Back three of Naismith, McGuinness, and Bell. Good to see Naismith starting. I've wanted to see that for a few weeks, so it's good to see that he's finally got that start. Jones came straight back in. Obviously, as one of the players back for this game. Doughty on the left, and then you had Asgard, Walsh, Nakamba as the midfield, sort of a five. Obviously, Nakamba being a bit deeper. Morris and Elijah up front. Now, I said what I said in my match reaction. I still stand by it, in the sense of I like that Bloomfield went two up front. However, I don't really like that it was them two. I'll be honest, just given their form. And again, I know if you look at all our strikers, they've got the most goals compared to the others. But I'd have preferred to see Ali in or Nordas, but everyone's saying he's not match fit, So Ali, personally. And I know people have been going on about that miss against Sunderland, but at the end of the day, he was offside anyway, and it didn't really matter. But yeah, that was my only thing really about the lineup. As for the bench, you had Ali, like I say, Anderson, Baptiste. Good to see him back. How long will it last, though, is the real question. Bowler, Brown, Clark, who obviously wasn't on, so Ali was a replacement in the end. Obviously, he got injured in the warm up. Don't think I've ever seen that with a player that's on the bench. I've seen it players at start. Obviously, we had it with Elijah when Woodrow played in the Premier League last year in the Man United game. Johnson, Krul, Nordas, and Walters. So, yeah, obviously we had to make that change. Didn't affect our starting 11, but it was good to see a change in formation, wasn't it, Dad? Because we've been calling for the two up front.
Yeah, and you have to kind of go like that home, but there's a lot of changing. Obviously, went with more experience in it, and it kind of worked to a certain degree. Let's be honest. It's just that lacking scoring, the goals and that. But we looked good as a unit, I thought. And then you had decent players to come off the bench. So good to see Walsh back in there, and obviously Naismith again calling for that. Interesting that we went with the three at the back. McGuinness pushed over, but it worked genuinely. Whereas before with three at the back, we've looked a hell of a lot worse than that. So yeah, obviously Asgard keeps space. Good to see Nakamba put back in there as well. And Jones, as well. I said about Bowler or whatever, but we've got options in them positions. Do you know what I mean? And I think Doughty and particularly Jones played pretty well, so he'll probably hold down that position for now. But having the likes of Ali, who can go on either flank anyway, Bowler to come on, even Hashioka to come on as well. It gives you them options. But we need to start picking up wins, not even just points, like wins now. But yeah, it's decent and not the same old, which is what we kind of used to seeing before.
Yeah, yeah, that has been the issue. So, well, I mean, going into the first half, that was our best performance in ages. We have to be honest. Since that Sunderland home game, you would say the energy, the intensity was there. It was just affected us. And again, like I said in the match reaction, best we played in ages. The grit and the determination was there, but when them chances come down, you've got to be taking them. And again, it was Elijah's chances. I remember saying to you at half time, Dad, we are playing good. It's just them chances could come back to hurt us if they're not taken, which obviously there wasn't at the time. But there was good patches of play. We looked really good in a lot of spells. I thought Doughty and Asgard played really well together. That could be a new combination for the remainder of the season. Asgard's obviously going to come in and be immense at some point, and he will score a banger because that's just what he does. I was looking at more goals he scored for Wigan this season yesterday, and some of the goals he scores, he scored against Stevenage, a very good goal. I think it was a free kick actually, another long range. In other games, so he will bring that dimension. He nearly did score a really good goal in this game. Very unlucky, and he was looking really good. He was looking really good. I mean, the game before that, I don't think he was bad. I just think he was average. Sheffield Wednesday game, it was a fairly decent debut, but this game he really, really stood out alongside Doughty, especially in that first half for me. And Jones started off well, but there was three moments from Jones in the game where he's passed it back to Kaminsky, and it's like a hospital pass, and he's put Kaminsky under pressure. That happened three times in the game, but going forward, he was brilliant, and he can bring that dimension. Sorry, obviously he's got a lot of pace as well, but there was some good moments. It was just taking the chances, and Elijah and Morris, they looked more confident, I would say, up front together, but when the chances boiled down to Elijah, he didn't take them, and again that shows his confidence this season, really, doesn't it, Dad?
Yeah, I mean, the header was a good header. I went too far away. Um, but the one where it was put on a plate for him, you know, he should have got that target definitely. Um, but he's getting in them positions. Is at the end of the day, yes, he's got to put them away. But who else is putting chances away up front? We're a bit limited at the end of the day, so you got to kind of rely on him to a certain extent. But obviously, it's just he's kind of maybe not the answer going forward now, because it's definitely been his poorest season and his conversion rate is terrible, etc. Who'd have scored 5, 6, 7 more goals, we probably wouldn't be in the position we're in. Their keeper played well, especially in the second half. But yes, he should have been scoring. But most of the time before, to be fair, we were just lumping balls up to him. He's not even used to getting it put on a plate to him, I'll tell you. I think, do you know what I mean? So he rushed it. Even the header, like, he's not used to getting these balls played into his feet and that. But that's the good thing. We've got that now. Asgard was outstanding in the first half, like that little turn and shot in a tight area in the corner of the box, hit the crossbar. Walsh's deliveries in, Asgard's deliveries in. We've got other players other than Doughty who can put a good ball into the box now and they're being utilised as that as well. I think it's just more a matter of time before he gets a brace or a hat trick or whatever. I do think that. Yeah, it's not been his best, and like I said, looking forward, maybe we'll see how it pans out for the rest of the season. But we've got Nordas, so I think he's obviously going to get some more minutes. Otherwise, Weiss, well, obviously you've signed him for the future or whatever, but he's on the bench. But then we haven't really got anyone else up front, have we? So I expect him to kind of be starting at least for a half at some point. Because, like I say before, sometimes when Elijah does come off the bench, he seems to not be as nervous or not be as, do you know what I mean? Like, he's intently watching the game. I don't know. I just think it brings a little bit more out of him sometimes. But yeah, like I thought we played well in the first half. Well, the whole game, to be honest, playing Sheffield United, top team, got some good players, well coached, excellent away record. So to come away with a 1-0 defeat, yeah, it's not great for the position we're in, but the performance was there. And if we'd have put our chances away, we would have definitely got something out of that game, rather than before, where we just look disjointed, etc. And yeah, we might even score one or two, but we're going to concede. It didn't really feel like that in this game at all. Might as well move on to the second half, where again, some good spells, got the crowd up lifting as well with points. And the goal, it's a bit of a sloppy one, but not. I've seen a lot worse. It's come from a long throw, and then a couple of blocks, and which led to McGuinness being too far back and just keeping it. It did look offside, but he was keeping the guy on side. Do you know what I mean? The guy anticipated straight away, and maybe if it had gone to the line, maybe his toenail might have been offside, but I don't think so. Do you know what I mean? And it shows the other players would just presumed it as well. They should have moved back. And also, there was a couple of opportunities before, still defensively, where the ball went straight across to Barrett and Diaz, who obviously should have scored himself. He missed a couple of good chances, I think. Yeah. But yeah, that when we left that was a bit dodgy and that. So it's still kind of there. That's probably because there was three at the back and they've just been playing four at the back. But they'd have worked on that, and I don't think Plymouth, particularly if they haven't got Hardy, are going to be that threatening going forward. Set pieces, I think they might be quite dangerous, but yeah. So overall, I thought it was a good performance. Genuinely, much better than we have seen against a better team. A decent team. We showed what we can do. Apart from finish.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, the striker situation's a bit of a difficult one, like you say. I mean, I wouldn't play Brown because he's been on terrible form. Yeah, he hasn't brought anything this season by that Watford goal. And even then, we're 2-0 up at that point. So he's been terrible, like I say, when he's come on. Nordas, obviously, the fitness. The only other player I can think of is Ali. But even then, we do play him sort of out wide. When we do play him, we play him in like the Jones position. Obviously, he did come on the other day, but it didn't really have enough time, in my opinion, to really do much. But maybe him. He's the only one I can think of at this moment in time when it comes to that striker situation. But yeah, like I said, and you touched on it. Elijah. I think it was the Cardiff game. Pretty sure he didn't start that game, but he come on and he was just running them ragged. That press, which he does anyway. It's just them chances, them big chances when they fall to him. We know he's a confidence player, but you've got to be taking them chances. And obviously they did eventually come back to bite us. But the performance was there. It was good, that we were showing that heart and that determination. Great that Walsh started as well. I didn't really mention that, but it was great that he did because, yes, he got them red cards and stuff, and people weren't happy about that. But since that statement, he's been good. When he's been played, he's tried to do things, and for me, no one in our team quite passes like how he does, in the sense of looks for that eye of a pass. Basically, he's always looking to go forward. If he goes short, if he goes sideways, sorry, it's a short pass. Do you know what I mean? It's a safe pass. It's not just playing it across for the fun of it. Do you know what I mean? So good that he started, and he's got a high chance of starting now because obviously Clark is injured, ankle injury. So there's a high possibility that he starts again. And a lot of people saying that was his best game in a Luton shirt, and it's hard to disagree with that, to be honest. So it's good that he's starting, and I want him to have that redemption arc. I think I've said it. I think I said it last time, last episode. I want him to, because I know he wants to do the best for for the team and help the team. And you never know if he has a good ending to the season. For me, we should try and keep hold of him. Whether in Championship or not. We give him a chance again. Which he'll appreciate us for. So we just got to try and utilise him more, in my opinion, because I even remember his Preston game. Yeah, we lost that game, the 1-0 at their ground. He was the positive light coming on in that game. Trying to make things happen and things like that. So I want to see him have a bit more of a go, to be honest. But yeah, that's that on the game. I mean, for me on the goal, what I will say is I'm not going to blame McGuinness as such. Yes, he's the one playing him on. Miles on side, looking at it on the replays and stuff. But I'm not just going to blame him. At the end of the day, they're all, if you look at it again, they're all ball watching, every single player. Someone should be communicating, telling him that. And yes, he's the furthest back. Maybe he should think about it himself. But again, you know, I'm not going to be annoyed at us for conceding a goal like that because we've conceded far worse goals. For example, we played Burnley, conceded straight away. In the Premier League, Grimsby, them sort of goals I'm frustrated with because they're straight away and we're not switched on. We just didn't take our chances in this game. I have to be honest, mainly Elijah, which did cost us. And I had a feeling it'd be that type of game. And they did grow into it second half, we have to be honest. Like you said, I said it on the vlog from home. They had great chances, Brendan Diaz, especially that first chance. I don't know how he didn't score that. The second chance was just a pop shot, basically. But they had opportunities before that. And a 1-0 defeat to Sheffield United, yes, like you say, we need the point. But I thought we were going to get battered. If we perform like that against Plymouth, you would say we get something because Sheffield United are much better, and that's what I wanted to see. And again, it goes back to what I said in the reverse fixture. Why I was so frustrated with that away performance is because I know we should be competing with these teams. The likes of them, Burnley, Leeds. We should be. Let's be honest. We kept the core of the squad, and that's the frustrating thing. When we went at them. You know what I mean? We utilised the Kenilworth Road to what we know it can be, and in my opinion, we were just unlucky in the end. It was just them chances. We've got to be taking them, especially in the predicament that we're in. But that's my thoughts on the game overall, really, when it comes to that. We'll go through some comments before we get into the player ratings. Oh yeah, read that comment out. Big up to Spencer, says big up to everyone. Big up, mate. Hope you're well. And that's the thing. Jackie says that performance has made her more confident. And again, if we can play like that in the remainder of these games, obviously it's going to be pretty hard to keep that intensity going game after game. But if we can, play like how we did on the ground with the ball at times in that game, there's no reason why we can't stay up. We've got a great opportunity to do that. It's the consistency. I think where other Luton fans worry is the consistency because, say for example, even though we were playing poor, when we beat Millwall away and then Sheffield Wednesday at home, that was good. But then after that, what happened? I mean, and that's people's worry, especially obviously touch wood, it doesn't happen. But say we lose tomorrow, and then we got Watford, you're not going to have a lot of confidence at all going into that, just naturally because how big this game is tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? On top of that, your rivals, you know what I mean? Like it's not ideal. So we can perform like that. There's no reason we can't get a result tomorrow, especially with Hardy being out, like you say, Dad. And obviously they lost Whittaker as well. Didn't do as good this season, but still had his moments. I've got good other players, but they're the key players. Or they were. Obviously Hardy's out, so it's going to be interesting. But yeah, that's that when it comes to that. Moving on to the player ratings, do obviously get involved. Do smash a like on the stream if you haven't already as well. Side. But yeah, moving on to the player ratings. So Kaminsky in goal. Couldn't have done anything about the goal. I mean, when they did have a few chances, he made 2 good saves, I think, in this game that I can think of. Just the same old standard Kaminsky performance, really. Again, like I say, the only downside is him kicking out for a goal kick. That happened at one point from a goal kick. Sorry, just them frustrating moments. But overall, 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5, usual standard practice.
Yeah, literally simple as that. Jackie's gone with a 7. Moving on to Bell. Bell was much better in this game. You know, he wasn't bad, like really, really good. He just weren't as crap as he's been. Just the average again 6.5.
Yeah, yeah, 6.5. It's definitely one of his better games. He was getting involved, good on the ball. This is the kind of the Bell that we normally used to seeing. Again, he's got to be consistent with it. And it was against a good team as well, and he was getting forward and helping with the attack and that as well. 6.5.
Fair enough. Jackie's gone with another 7. Moving on to McGuinness. Again, people say about the goal. Like I say, me personally, I'm not just blaming him for that. He did have them good moments. But yeah, I'll go another 6.5.
Yeah, same 6.5.
Moving on to Naismith, really good in this game. Shout out to Naismith because as we speak, it is his birthday today. And I actually commented on the Instagram post of it. Time to put him captain. Time to give him captaincy. A lot of people actually interacted with it. But yeah, I think we should now going forward because I said it quite a while ago as well. You prefer, and I think we both said it, Dad. You prefer someone at the back or who's more able to watch the game as a whole as much as play it. And I don't mind Morris being a captain. I just think Naismith, you know, he's been inside the club before, and it was such a steady performance, and I felt a lot more confident in our back line. And again, you know, I've liked McGuinness and stuff, but like I say, he does have them individual moments. Whereas Naismith, you know, he's got a bit more experience. Like I say, he's been in and around the club before. And some of the stuff he was doing in the game, you know, I was looking back at some of the highlights. You know, the way he's bringing it down with his chest, you know, stuff like that. You know, looking for the pass. Yeah, he was really good in the game. Really good. Leadership was shown. And I wouldn't mind giving him the captaincy. And again, I've seen a few people say, "Oh, if it's a lone player and stuff," but it's not like he's a like, you know, it's not like Zasgard where he's just come in. Do you know what I mean? As an example, you know, he knows the club. I think, you know, depending on what happens, we should try and keep him. To be honest, he is that leader we've been missing since Lockyer, in my opinion. So yeah, he was good in the game. One of the better players. So I will give him a 7.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. What I liked about him is basically he's just come in and started playing like when he was last at the club, you know, with that confidence, you know, touching the ball, thinking of not rushing anything, you know, organising, etc. and that. So yeah, you know, he's not a stranger to the club, so I wouldn't mind if you know if he was a captain. You know, I mean, who if you don't start certain players, who he's going to be the captain out of that? The only thing one I could possibly think of is maybe Bell, Kaminsky, Doughty. I've never seen him as a captain, so yeah, 7.
Yeah, I think if Morris weren't on the pitch, obviously Clark's injured, so I'm taking that into account. It probably would be Bell because I have seen him with it a few times before Morris actually had it originally. Bell had it for a couple of games, I remember. So it probably would be him. But I wouldn't mind Naismith being it. And again, it goes back to what I say. That game we had in lockdown, I think we were playing Wigan or something, and all you could hear was him. I mean, and we had Lockyer at that time. We had him, Lockyer, and someone else at about, I think it's Burke or something. You know, and all you could hear was him. So yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that at all. Jackie's gone McGuinness 7, Naismith 7.5, which is fair enough. Moving on we'll go over to Jones. Again, going forward, he was good in the game. You know, he brings that element. He's very good at that. He's very fast. But the only thing I will say is when he was passing it back to Kaminsky 3 times in the game, you know, there weren't great passes back. You know, they'd get throws in decent positions and things like that. So that was Jones's only letdown for me. But yeah, he was okay. I'll just give him a 6.
I'll give him a 7. I thought he was really good going forward. Always looking for the forward ball, getting involved a lot. You know exactly why we signed him. The passes back, he'll learn that you know this is you know Kaminsky doesn't like it. You know if you pass it a pace back to him or too short or whatever, he doesn't like it. So you know he'll get used to that. But yeah, I thought he was really good going forward and was involved in a few things, still freshening up really. But he's, you know, probably gonna be starting there at the moment. So, but I thought he was decent. 7.
Yeah, I do agree. Obviously, we'll get into our lineups in a bit, but I do agree with that because Hashioka's a player that doesn't really bomb forward. Real Walter's still got a lot to learn. Jones has played there for Middlesbrough as well, hasn't he? So, it makes sense. Bringing that dimension as well, it'd be good him having him on the side and Doughty on the other, like we did. But yeah, Jackie's gone with a 7 for Jones, which is fair enough. Moving on to Doughty. Again, really good. Like I say, linked up with Asgard really well. You could see a good connection between them two for the remainder of the season. Like I said, recent weeks, Doughty's been one of our best players since he's come back, definitely. And he was decent in the game. Decent in the game, playing a massive part in the set pieces. Was I think he pass it to Asgard for the shot? I think he potentially. And I remember, guys, I said Asgard scored Doughty to get the assist, and that nearly did happen. But yeah, no, he was good in the game. He was good again. I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, I'll give him 7. I think he linked up well with Asgard and Walsh. Them three are probably the best footballers at the club. So I think you need to be starting them together more because it definitely looked good. But yeah, because he wasn't doing all the corners and stuff, which maybe we might have got something out of it. But we still created chances out of the moves what Mer made. Bit quieter in this game, but still good. Obviously showing that quality and that desire and stuff. So it's 7.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And obviously, he said after the Sheffield Wednesday game, we're too good to go down. So obviously, he will be trying to show that extra determination to do well for the club and stuff for the remainder of the season. Jackie's gone 7.5 for Doughty, which again is fair enough. Moving on we'll go over to Walsh. Like I say, a lot of people saying his best game in a Luton shirt. I'd have to agree. Like I say, it's hard to not agree with that. But again, I've been calling him to start. You have as well, Dad. And it's good that he is getting these starts now. And like you say, he linked up well with Doughty. I think he linked up well with anyone, to be honest. Just helping them out, getting into spaces and stuff. And like I say, I want him to have that redemption, scoring a goal soon, getting an assist, something like that, like a really good pass for someone to score. But yeah, he was decent in the game. So again, I'll go another 7.
Yeah, I'll give him a 7. No rush tackling, excellent passing vision, switching play, crossing it in. Just looks like so naturally gifted, and that like he does. Just comfortable on the ball, and we missed that. And you need to play, and he's not tackling as much. It's like Nakamba or whoever's in there. Let them do the dirty work. Even Asgard to a certain extent. You just look for these pockets and passes, etc. I thought he'd done that really well. I'll give him a 7.5.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, no, that's understandable. He was really good. Jackie has gone with Walsh as a man of the match, so that's fair enough. When it comes to that, moving on to the next player, we'll go over to Nakamba before we go over to Asgard. Really good in the game. Again, another player I've been calling to start, and again, I think his experience was shown, and yeah, he was decent. So I will go with another 7. Oh,
Right, that I can't answer it.
get an incoming phone call live and direct, people.
I don't even know who it is.
Is it any of you? Nah, I'm joking. No, it's not any of you. What does it start with?
I think it's Chris's
You
girlfriend.
can answer it if you want, Dad, and I'll talk. I'll just bring you backstage.
No, they'll have to message me. I don't know who the hell.
So, guys, live and direct joys. Yeah, what's saying about Nakamba? So I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, I thought he was decent. Tidying up, doing his job well. Oh, for fuck's sake! Give me a second.
Yeah, no worries. Just go backstage. Go backstage. I'll talk. It's fine. Right, there you go. It's just sorting that out. Apologies about that, guys. The joys of doing live streams. But yeah, Nakamba was really good. I mean, Ed said he's give it to him, man of the match. Fair enough, mate. I mean, I've been calling for him to start, and I think he's immense. I really do, guys. And again, he has that one challenge in him that makes you go, why'd you do that? Like, for example, what game was it a couple of weeks ago? Millwall. Was it Millwall where he gave away the penalty? I think it was, wasn't it? I remember he done it against Sheffield Wednesday in a friendly once. The season we got to the Premier League, our pre-season games last year, and I know that was only pre-season, but still, pre-season's telling. You know, I say that pre-season is telling, guys. Look at Hull, right? This season they had a poor pre-season. Look how they're doing. You know, we had a poor pre-season. Look how we're doing majority of the season. Liverpool had a great pre-season. Look how they're doing. Do you know what I mean? So it is getting telling as the years go on. But yeah, that's the only worry of Nakamba. But you know, when you're comparing him and Lamine, you have to start him all day long for me at this moment because I think Lamine will come good, but he's got a lot to learn. Whereas Nakamba's got that experience. Let's be honest, he probably hasn't got many years left in him. So just utilise him as much as possible. But yeah, there you go. You're back again, bud.
Yeah, like I've got 20 minutes, mate, and then I'll have to go. So,
yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Yeah, no worries. Is there anything else you wanted to say on Nakamba?
No, that's it.
Cool. But yeah, he was everywhere, got tackles in. Yeah, that's just a natural thing, though, isn't it, really? Even if it's him or Lamine. Because they're in their own sort of section, they're having to do the dirty work, so they probably are going to get yellow cards. But I don't mind that. I don't mind it, to be fair. But yeah, moving on to Asgard. If I was to give him a match, I would have given it to Asgard. I thought that first half performance really stood out. Very unlucky on the shot. And, you know, him and Naismith were my two most excited signings in January because I know that leader at the back for Naismith in that sense. And then Asgard, I just know he's going to be a great player, you know, things like that. So, yeah, as for this game, 7.5, very unlucky not to score Asgard.
He is my man match. I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he just looked exceptional. He's, you know, real quality. You know, people are saying, "Oh, we signed players for League One." No, we've signed these players. I think we've done actually quite well because some of these players are better than that. You know, obviously, and he's one, and you know, he could be, you know, one of the guys that keeps us up. To be honest with you, especially the way he's saying that turn and shot, his confidence on the ball, his delivery, his passing, even his tackling, he's going to go on to big things. He is. And he has to start as long as he's fit because he's creating chances, he's taking shots. It's only a matter of time before he gets his first goal. And I want to see him linking up with Nordas personally. But yeah, 8.
Yeah, I believe we will see that when Nordas is available to start games and stuff. But yeah, on the Asgard thing, I mean, people say that about that signing, but for me, that's a player we would have signed anyway. Even if we were top end championship, I believe we would have tried to get him because look at the goals he scored, you know, against us as well. We like to sign players that score against us, you know, in the past and stuff. And, you know, he was you know, out of, you know, contract, wasn't it, coming up at Wigan? So we just exploited it really. And that's what we've done. And, you know, like I say, I've heard from other people anyway, not just Wigan fans. Obviously, yeah, he's a Scouser, so I've heard from Liverpool fans as well. You know, obviously he didn't play for their team, but you know, in the youth setups and that, he was really good and stuff. So you know, it's one of them where I was happy because of that, and I know what he's capable of doing. And I've not just seen him score them goals against us; I've seen him do it quite regularly, even this season for Wigan, who are not great anymore. Let's be honest. You know, mid-table in League One, so or lower than that. So yeah, it's one of them. Fellow 8 says Jackie, which is fair enough. That is Asgard's first vote, by the way, of the season. And I'll say the points now before I forget. Obviously, I gained the point because I said we'd lose. 18-15 it is now, Dad. So it's still fairly tight, you know, for the remainder of the season. So we'll see how that ends. But yeah, moving on to the strikers, Morris and Elijah. I might just do them together. Actually, no. I'll go Morris 6.5, Elijah, just because how big them chances were, I'm going to have to go over 5.5.
Yeah, Elijah. Yeah, 5.5. We already talked about that. Morris, I think was definitely better. Showing more the ball. Yeah, had a couple of good chances. Their keeper done well, so I'll give him a 6.5.
Yeah, and obviously he had another header. That was a good save from the keeper, like you mentioned. Cooper had a good performance for Sheffield United, claiming a lot of stuff as well. Um, he's a good keeper, man. I've always thought he was good. I remember when we were linked with him before we got Kaminsky, and I definitely said I'd have took him at that time, and now he's showing it, really, isn't he? So yeah, moving on to the subs. Brown and Baptiste. I'm just gonna have to go over 6.
Brown, I'll give him a 5 for nothing, in my opinion. Baptiste looked a bit better, so I'll give him a 6. And then Bowler and Walsh 6.
90th minute. He's gonna have to go over
Uh,
NA or 6.
Ali, sorry, not Walsh.
But yeah, we'll just sort of just leave them. Morris 6.5, Elijah 5, says Jackie. Fair enough. Yeah, like I say, the thing that ups Morris's rating compared to Elijah's for me is that header. That was unlucky, and he was like lively, hit like I say, but Elijah just had them big chances, and he did blow him. Let's be honest. But yeah, that's overall said on the game. So overall, we're happy with the performance, but we're still a bit frustrated we didn't get the points. And being in this battle, we need to start getting the points. And tomorrow is a big opportunity now. Plymouth, our goal. I mean, the reverse fixture, I don't even want to talk about it. Let's just talk about it. So, obviously, it was a 3-1 defeat. What I'd say on that game, Plymouth wanted it more. I thought that day they were there for the taking defensively. I thought every time they went forward, they looked dangerous. Yes, you know, we've been poor throughout the season, defensively, majority of the season, but they did look good going forward. It's just defensively, I had a few moments. Elijah had a great opportunity in that game as well. I remember he was going forward and then he cut in, and he shouldn't have. A lot of us in the away end were frustrated with that. Chong had a great opportunity in that game. We did have them chances. Obviously, Moses come on, probably his best game for us, let's be honest. Scored a good goal. And then he did get an assist for Taylor, but obviously it was apparently offside. A lot of people watching it on TVs and that said it wasn't. Even Sky, after the people on it, said it wasn't. So it's a bit of a frustrating one, but it's a close game then. It was. It was just them last couple of minutes, just give them the momentum, really, with our goal notwithstanding. But yeah, that was the last time we played. I think the last time we played at Kenilworth Road, we actually battered him. I think it was like 5-1 or something. So it's Sonny Bradley got on the score sheet that game. So it's an interesting one. But going into it, obviously, we know how massive this game is, guys. You know how massive the next 2 games are, like I mentioned earlier. If we did win this, we could go 22nd. We can't go any higher because Hull have got a much better goal difference than us. Obviously, if Plymouth won, they could actually go out of the relegation zone. So it could be massive. The draw will not do anything for any side. We'll remain where we are. So it's a huge game, guys. We know this. We are the favourites on here, but you'd expect that being at Kenilworth Road. But a bit of insight going into it. Luton Town have only won 1 of their last 7 home football league games against Plymouth, drawing 3, losing 3. Though it came in the most recent of those in League One. Yeah, there you go. Winning 5-1, 2018. James Collins scoring a hat-trick. After beating Luton 3-1 in September, Plymouth could do the league double over the Hats for the first time since 2006-7 in the Championship under Ian Holloway. Luton have lost each of their last 4 midweek Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday games in the Championship, but haven't lost 5 successive midweek matches in the Football League since a run of 8 from August 1990 to August 1991. Plymouth are winless in the last 9 midweek, obviously, games, drawing 2, losing 7, losing all 5 such fixtures since the start of 2024. Plymouth have lost each of their last 3 Championship games against sides relegated from last season's Premier League. However, their last win in that regard was obviously against us in September. So that's that when it comes to that. A bit more on them as a whole. It was looking bleak for Plymouth when they were 5-0 down at half time against Burnley. are sat 6 points from safety at the bottom of the championship. 4 weeks on, and their situation has drastically improved. Starting with a 90th minute equaliser at Sunderland before beating West Brom, obviously Liverpool in the cup, and Millwall. The 5-1 win against Millwall was a statement of intent. Uh, their 4-game unbeaten run came to an end at Blackburn Rovers on Saturday. So that was interesting. It does say player here to watch out is Ryan Hardy, but there's big news that he could be injured, which is massive because he started scoring, especially since that Liverpool FA Cup game. But yeah, the official for this game will be Dean Whitestone. 75 yellow cards and 1 red card have been handed out by him across the 22 games this season. Just 4 of his 22 games have not been championship fixtures. We last had him when we drew to West Brom in November. Obviously, I didn't do a watch long for that at that time because I weren't feeling great. I was feeling awful that week. But yeah, I can't really remember anything wrong from him there in that game, to be honest. A bit of a dull game, even though we both scored. It was a bit. West Brom were drawing a lot. We've just how we've been majority of the season, really. Um, but huge game. How are you feeling after hearing all them insights?
Well, I've got to be confident from the last game. We are better than them. Yes, they've picked up and that, but I feel like the crowd a bit more behind us. Last time we beat them, we smashed them. I just feel like you got to be confident for this game. You have to be, and it is a must-win at this stage of the season. So I think this is probably going to be the first win. Some players would have probably definitely have had one eye on the Watford game, but not now. Like, this is more important than that game, much more important. So I think we'll bring it. So I'm feeling pretty confident, especially hearing that Hardy's most likely not going to play because he got that injury in the last game, trapped nerve. Apparently can't walk and that. It does take, if you ever had a trapped nerve, it does take a few days to get over that, and you know what I mean. So I don't think they'll be risking that. Defensively, they're good. Like I said before, they'll be good at set pieces now. But I think we've got to be pumping balls into their box and just putting it on them from the kickoff. And I think we're probably going to do that. So yeah, I'm quite confident that we're definitely going to win.
Nice. I like to hear that. That'll be our first win if we do, since obviously the 20th. Crazy sadness, but 20th of December when we beat Derby. Obviously that was late drama. But yeah, I mean, this is how I see the game. For us, it's a must win. As simple as that. For me, we can't really afford to draw it or lose. Definitely not lose anyway. Whereas for them, I think it's just a draw or win, ideally for them. And the reason I say that is because their away form is terrible. It's worse than ours. They haven't won still away from home this season. And obviously they're slightly above us. So, I think they can afford to draw, whereas we can't. Especially with like we say, Hardy out. I think that'll play a part. I don't think he scored in the last game, but still, he is on form at the moment. But yeah, like you say, Dad, we play like how we did the other day in the sense of that pressure. We will definitely score a goal. I'm confident of that. It's just, will we stick with the exact same lineup? I mean, a lot of people said we should. A lot of people put 1 or 2 changes in. We'll get into ours. So obviously, I'll start off with mine as we do. So my lineup going into this game, I've made 1 change from the other day. Let me just move a little bit like that. So Kaminsky in goal, goes without saying. Bell, Naismith, McGuinness. So my change, I'll just get into my change, is Ali up front instead of Elijah. And again, it goes back to what we said earlier. A lot of games where Elijah has come on, he has been better than a lot of games that he started. I think you've got to stick with Morris because he is slightly doing better than Elijah. Like, the chances Morris is having compared to Elijah, he's unlucky. Whereas Elijah's, you got to be scoring them really. Ali, again, people going about that miss against Sunderland. It wouldn't have mattered. It was offside anyway, and I thought he was good in that game. He was bringing a good dimension. to that game. So I'm sticking with that. And I would bring Elijah on. I would bring him on probably earliest, probably about half hour left. But that's what I'm going to go with. So that's my one change going into this game. But yeah, as for your lineup, bud, there you go. That is yours.
Well, I've gone for one change, no, two changes. Well, one change, sorry. So basically, it's pretty the same as yours. Kaminsky, McGuinness, Naismith, Bell, the Canberra in front of them, and then Doughty and Jones on the wing. Wide areas, Walsh and Asgard. I'm sticking with Elijah. I'm simply because but starting Nordas alongside of him because they're both big lumps. We need to be causing their defence a lot of problems. And if we can pump balls into both of them, I think it caused chaos. Elijah was getting in them positions. I don't think he'll be dropped. I just don't. And you could say he deserves to, maybe, but not in this. We're fighting a relegation battle. He is, whether you like it or not, he's one of the best strikers we've got. So he's going to have to start. But I feel like putting them both together will cause a lot of problems. If we can get balls into them, I think it'd be interesting. Even if Nordas is not fully, just paying for a half or 50 minutes or whatever, and then bring Morris on, or you know what I'm saying. So yeah, and then we still got options on the bench. You've got Morris, you've got Ali, you've got Bowler, who's an attacking player, and things like that. So in which case, obviously, I've gone with Naismith as the captain. But we'll see. It probably will be exactly the same lineup that we went with in the last game. To be honest with you, you could potentially think maybe Baptiste will come in instead, but he's only just come back from injury, isn't it? So I don't know about that, but I'd say it's probably going to be this one. I can't see him going back to the youth players, the younger players in this game. Yes, you've got the Watford game, and if we can put this game to kind of bed early enough, then you can start bringing them players on. Do you know what I mean? But I think that would be the aim. But this is what I've gone with.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's going to be interesting because as much as we didn't win the other day, it's going to sound crazy to say, but it sort of felt like a win because the performance was so good compared to what it has been for a lot of the season. So you sort of want to stick with the same lineup because it did sort of work, in large patches of the game. But then again, Bloomfield does change a little few things, doesn't he? And he is a manager that does that. So it'll be interesting to see if he does change, what he does change going into it. But yeah, no, it's fair enough. Again, if Nordas was fit, I would have definitely put him in. Match fit, definitely put him in to start, 100%. But yeah, I'll go with Ali. I'll go with Ali and Morris, like I've said there. Yeah, Jackie agrees with me. Ali up front, 100%. Yeah, I feel give it a go. And I feel especially with how he was against Sunderland, getting on the ball, getting fouled a few times. I feel we could work well feeding it into Morris. I really do, and stuff like that because Morris is not a player who's going to run at players, is he? Really, let's be honest. He's good in the box. So if Ali can, make forward runs, get it to him, I think that could be a new combo at this moment in time. Because I'll be honest, I do think one of the two strikers will go between Elijah and Morris in the summer, and I do think there's more chance of it being Elijah, to be honest. So yeah, man. So yeah, Jack says I'm with your lineup. Fair enough. And then moving on to that final part, which is obviously score predictions. Now, it's gonna sound crazy, but it's not crazy because he's been on good form. But I am more confident than I was that because Hardy's out. I know we played well against Sheffield United, and they're obviously much better than Plymouth, but I'm just worried about the consistency of performances. Will we see consistency? We need to now, but will we? That's my worry. But Dad, will Matt Bloomfield finally get his first victory as Luton Town manager?
Yeah, I think so. I just think we'll there'll be more pressure on them. Um, there'll be. I think that'll be a big blow for them having their top scorer out, and they've been bottom for ages for a reason. It's not just the Rooney thing. Um, because at times they were good against us. We basically gave them that win. They were fighting and stuff. But it was our defence. A different story this time around. And I think we'll get the 3 points that we need, and then that gives us confidence going into the Watford game. Um, so yeah, I do think this will be his first win. So I'm going to go with 2-0 Luton win.
2-0, fair enough. As for me, I've been flickering between two different score lines, and that is a 1-0 either way. But I'm more confident with that Sheffield United performance that we can, play like that. There's no reason we can't win. And I think if we do change it up a little bit, one change, put Ali in for Elijah, I think we can win this game. Or even if you bring Elijah on as a player to make an impact, he's looked good when we've used him as that this season. Um, so yeah, for me, I'm going to back the boys. 1-0. So 1-0 to us. We get a clean sheet, which don't get me wrong, it's rare, but we have done it a few times at home this year. Cardiff. There is another game, but I can't think from the top of my head where we've done it. Portsmouth. I think there was another home game, but might be wrong. But yeah, we have got Portsmouth soon at home as well. So that's going to be interesting. I mean, they got a good away win, but we'll get into that nearer the time. So both back in Luton to win. Can't lie, I do a championship predictions thing with Lewis and that, and I did say this was last week though. I did say 1-0 to Plymouth, but I'm going to change it. I very rarely change it, but since then we've played, so that's given me a bit more confidence. And Ryan Hardy being out, I think that could benefit us to get on and get a win and not see as much of a threat from them. Yes, they've got good players, but if we stick it on them, we can get this win going into that derby. Because if we lose this game, oh my God, the morale going into that derby is not ideal, guys. Yeah, and that's a 12 o'clock kickoff. Remember the last time we played early at their ground? That didn't end well. So let's get a result, boys. Let's get a result. Let's get the confidence. And yeah, man, go into that game because without getting into it too much, as we know, the team that's at home tends to win the derby. Let's be honest, especially in recent years. So let's get the confidence. Let's go, boys. Yeah, simple as that. But yeah, we'll go through the final load of comments. Score predictions. Jackie has gone 2-0 to Luton. Fellow Asgard and Morris, obviously, we'll get into our goal scorers as well quickly. 3-0, says Paul. Okay, I like that. Morris has scored 2. Asgard scored 1. Your 2 goal scorers, Dad.
I'm going to go Elijah and McGuinness.
Okay, that's not bad. As for me, my goal scorer, I'm going Asgard. I was going to go McGuinness, but I'm going to go Asgard. I feel he's getting close. And again, I know that's only one game where he's had a major shot for us, but I think he deserves it, man. He's coming into this team and doing well, and he's looking like a really good signing. So yeah, I'm going to go Asgard. I'm going to agree with a lot of you in the chat. Ed's gone 2-0 to Luton, so we're all going clean sheet, which we wouldn't say a lot this season. Let's be honest, but we have to win this game. It's as simple as that. We have to win. So yeah, that is all that. Any final things about anything, Dad, you want to say before we end it?
Nah.
Fair enough. As for me, well, big up to everyone that tuned in. Like always, obviously, do smash a like whether you're watching on playback or not. Subscribe. New subscriber earlier today as well, so thank you very much for that. Follow me across all the socials and subscribe to the extra channel. As for this game, there is actually a few pubs nearby. I was trying to see if one of them showing a game, but obviously they're not because there's a lot of big games tomorrow, including this one. So you've got Real Madrid and all that, Man City, Liverpool playing as well, so they show that. But on Friday, sorry, not Friday, what am I about? Sunday is obviously the big one against Watford. And they said they are going to show it. So obviously it's a 12 o'clock game. So I am going to watch it there, do a little vlog, and then do match reaction So do check that out. But I'll just do a match reaction regarding tomorrow's game, probably like I have been for the recent load of games. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, Jackie, I know. Yeah, I know. I just wanted to watch it out. I wanted to watch it out, but I will watch it. But yeah, I'll just be watching it here, so there'll just be a match reaction. But then for the Watford game, like I say, there will be a vlog and a match reaction. So you check all that out when that comes out for that. But yeah, as for a hat show, might do it on Saturday, Dad, because obviously you're playing on Sunday, and I don't know when the team news will come out. If team news comes out on Friday, we'll do it all in one on Friday. But if it doesn't, then we'll do it on Saturday, because I just don't know with Bloomfield coming in if they change it. If they tell us 2 days before, because we don't play on Sunday a lot anymore, do we? We're not in the Premier League, so. Yeah, big up to everyone. Like I say, smash a like, subscribe, all of that, and stay tuned for the match reaction tomorrow. And then, yeah, like I say, team news usually comes out around about 2 o'clock the day before for Luton. So if it comes out at that time on Friday, there'll be a hat show around about this time again. If not, we'll do it on Saturday. So yeah, stay tuned for all of that. But yeah, big up to everyone. Smash a like, subscribe, all that, like I say. And yeah, we will see you lot in a bit. So until then, take care and peace. Come on, Luton. 2 massive games.